Just former deputy assistant to the president, Sebastian Gorka, is with us. It's interesting every time. What do we learn? That the communist mayor of New York gave up the surveillance program. We've since had, I believe, 3 attacks. Then, of course, we go back to the issue of immigration. Then we go back to the president having to fight in the courts so we can vet people that come from countries that do not share our values. And it keeps coming up every attack. And yet the left still supports these policies. It's hard to understand, Dr. Gorka.
It truly is, Sean. This should have surprised nobody. The president understands that the immigration system that he inherited is utterly, completely bankrupt. The last New York attacker managed to sponsor more than 20 people on a chain migration into the United States. This jihadist was also a person who came in through chain migration. I just arrived yesterday back from Australia. Australia, for example, has a completely merit-based immigration system and completely strict adherence to the question of why are you coming to this country? Do you contribute to this country? And are you a threat? Why can't America have a system like Australia's is a question we have to answer.
Because if people are caught and entering Australia illegally, let's say they're in a boat. Well, Australia is very compassionate. They will give them enough food and water and supplies so they can get back to their destination, their original destination. Somebody is sick, they won't even take them into the country. They'll take them to a separate island and take care of them. But you're right, if we opened our borders completely, we could pick and choose. Everybody would want to come here. The best, the brightest contributors that would make society better, that don't have values that contradict our values. Why is that so complicated? How does that get so politicized?
Well, look, the fact is the left has tried to sell a bill of goods in where they say everybody has the right to come to America. It's insanity. If that's the case, the word America ceases to have any meaning. Remember what Hillary did, Sean. She gave a private speech that we now have the transcript of, where she said there should be no borders in the Western Hemisphere. From Canada all the way down, no borders. If that were the case, if she'd have won, America would cease to exist as a concept, and we'd be having not just one attack every few weeks or every few months. It would be like Europe, with attacks occurring every couple of days.
Let me shift gears. Let me go to the issue of all of these fake news reports that I laid out in my opening monologue tonight. They're everywhere. It's almost on a daily basis. We have known a long time that real journalism is dead in the country. I said that in 07 and 08. But the agenda of the media now, they are actively trying to undermine and unseat and contributing to unseat a duly elected president. Forces like we've never seen aligned together. How should the president deal with it?
We have a deadly combination, Sean. Your monologue is spot on. The left has created a web. I hate conspiracy theories, but if you look at what the media is doing, if you look at how things like the FBI have become politicized. Nobody's getting in trouble in the FBI for having Republican views. What's happening? They're Democrats. They have been in contravention of the Hatch Act. They've given Hillary kid-glove treatment for things that would have sent you or I to prison. How do we respond? Leadership, and we have to drain the swamp. The president has to drive the people with political agendas out of government, because if you're a bureaucrat, your politics should be a private affair. They shouldn't affect policy. And the media, look, I hope it's going to be market forces. You are crushing it on cable news. You're #1. As long as, the market forces dictate, things like CNN will become irrelevant sooner or later.
I think somebody pointed out that the Cartoon Network was rated higher, and so I don't know if that's still true, but that was true at the time. What do you do in a case of a Mueller investigation where we now know that he has Clinton lovers, Trump haters, people that in the past have not passed on exculpatory information to defendants, somebody that has made up laws, and it's a whole cadre of people now that all have one agenda? What is the answer in your mind? Because I don't see an easy answer to untangle the mess of politics now that has corrupted that special counsel.
Well, let me remind your audience, and let me remind the DNC, The chief law enforcement officer of the United States, according to the U.S. Constitution, is not the director of the FBI, nor is it the Attorney General. The chief law enforcement officer is the president, and right now that's Donald J. Trump. He could fire Mueller legally tomorrow if he so wished, but he would have to be backed up by the Republican Party. We need to see leadership from Capitol Hill that understand that November the 9th...
Why doesn't Jeff Sessions do that?
I think Jeff Sessions is in a very difficult place right now with his very, very ill-advised decision to recuse himself from the Russia investigation. He can reassert his power as the Attorney General, but we also have to see a broader support from Congress for the president, his agenda, and what November the 8th really means to America.
All right, Sebastian Gorka, good to have you back.
Thank you, Sean.